Hello students, welcome to my lecture. In this third semester, we are dealing the complementary physics paper, mechanics, relativity, waves and oscillation. In this paper, we are dealing with the chapters, first chapter, frame of reference, second chapter, conservation of energy and momentum, third chapter, relativity, fourth one, oscillations and waves, fifth one, introduction to modern physics. In first unit, we are dealing with frames of reference. Frames of reference. Before moving to our content, I am just giving an introduction. Mechanics is a branch of physics which deals with physical objects in motion and rest under the influence of external and internal interactions. For example, I am considering the motion of a particular object or ball or anything. Here, a point should be remembered, that is, the internal and external interaction of this object should be considered. If I am considering the external and internal interaction of an object which is in a state of rest or motion, then it comes under the category of the branch of physics which is known as mechanics. So Sir Isaac Newton he is well known and a famous scientist in physics. He gave his major contribution in this branch of physics. So Newton announced his famous laws of motion in 1687. We all are familiar with the three laws of motion. First law of motion, which is also known as law of inertia. A body continues in its state of rest or uniform velocity unless not disturbed by some external influence. I will give an example. It will further help for you. It will give some other points, that is, I am considering a ball which is in a state of motion. If I am not applying any force on this ball, the ball continues in its state of motion. If I apply any force, then that ball changes its state of motion. Okay. For generalization, if I am not applying any force on any object in state of rest or state of uniform motion, that body continues in that particular states. Okay. If I am not applying any force on a book which is at a state of rest, that book remains in that state. If I am not applying any force on a moving ball, that ball continues in a state of motion. Okay. Second law is known as law of force. The time rate of change of momentum is proportional to the impressed force. For simple explanation, you can write it as the rate of change of momentum is equal to or proportional to the applied force on a particular object. F is equal to dp by dt. We already know that P is equal to mv. P is the momentum. Momentum P can be represented by the product of mass and velocity. So P is equal to mv. I am substituting this P is equal to mv in this first equation. I get F is equal to d by dt of mv. I am taking m mass outside. Then I can write m into dv by dt. The rate of change of velocity is known as acceleration. So F is equal to ma. It is the mathematical representation of second law of motion. F is equal to dp by dt and F is equal to ma. The third law is very familiar. That is law of action and reaction. To every action, there is always equal and opposite reaction. Okay. Next, I am moving to our content, that is frame of reference. What is a frame of reference? The space and time together known as frame of reference. Before moving to the definition of frame of reference, I will give an example. That is, consider a person sitting in a bus which is in a uniform motion. The person inside the bus is at a state of rest with respect to the bus. I repeat, consider a person who are sitting in a bus which is in uniform motion. The person inside the bus is at a state of rest with respect to bus. Okay. But the same person is in a state of motion with respect to an outside building. I repeat, the person inside the bus is at a state of rest with respect to the bus. But the same person is in a state of motion with respect to an outside building. This shows that the rest and motion can be defined only with respect to something. With respect to bus, the person is at a state of rest. With respect to an outside building, that man or that person is a state of motion. So this something is known as frame of reference. The definition of frame of reference is frame of reference is defined as any coordinate system with respect to which one can study the motion of another object. The simplest form of frame of reference is Cartesian coordinate system. So in this figure, we can see the three axes are represented by x, y and z. Origin is represented as O. Let's An event is occurring at a point P. This event can be represented in terms of space and time. P has coordinates x, y, z and t. An event occurring in space can be represented in terms of space and time coordinates. This space coordinates x, y, z is the three-dimensional Cartesian coordinates and the t which represents time coordinate. So an event occurring in space can be represented in terms of space and time coordinates. This space coordinates x, y, z represents three-dimensional Cartesian coordinates. T represent time coordinates. Okay. What are the examples of frame of reference? The position of an aeroplane is specified with respect to a coordinate system fixed on the earth at a particular point. So it's a simple example. We all are just noticing the position of a aeroplane. We are considering the position of a aeroplane with respect to a coordinate system attached to the earth because the observer is in is on the surface of earth. So we are considering the coordinate system attached to the surface of earth. The second one, the motion of an electron in an atom is usually measured with respect to a coordinate system attached with its nucleus. So nucleus is placed at the center of an atom. So the motion of an electron can be precisely viewed or measured with respect to a frame of reference which is attached to the nucleus. So here the coordinate system should be attached to the nucleus to give the precise information about the motion of an electron. Okay, these are the two examples of frame of reference. This is a common question for your information. Why the most observations made on the surface of earth are related to the frame of reference attached to the earth. I repeat, why most of the observations made on the earth are related to the frame of reference attached to the earth. Just think about it. Okay, its answer is it is convenient for an observer to use a frame of reference in which he is in a state of rest. In the case of Earth's surface, the observer is always in a state of rest with respect to the frame of reference attached to the Earth. This is the reason why most of the observations made on the surface are related to the frame of reference attached to the Earth. I repeat, the observer should be in a state of rest. So, for the convenience of an observer, he always choose Earth's surface because on the surface of Earth or according to the coordinate system attached to the surface of Earth, the observer is always in a state of rest. That is why the most of the observation made on the surface of Earth are related to the frame of reference attached to the Earth. Okay, I hope it's clear to you. Then, in Cartesian coordinate system, we represented the point P in terms of the coordinates x, y, z and t. So from our earlier classes we know that R, the position vector of any particle can be represented as xi cap, y plus yj cap plus zk cap. Okay. The position vector here, an event occurring in space can be represented in terms of both space and time coordinates. So here the position vector r is not only a function of space but also a function of time too. So r can be represented as a function of time. R is equal to r of t. If we know the position of a particle, we can represent the velocity and acceleration from that expression. So the velocity v can be represented at rate of change of position. So we know that r is represented as xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. So it is uh, we are simply applying xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap in this equation. Then I got dx by dt of I cap plus dy by dt of j cap and dz by dt of k cap. This is the expression for velocity. This is the expression for velocity. Then what is the component of velocity in x direction? The component of velocity in x direction can be represented as dx by dt. Here I cap represent the unit vector along x direction. Dy by dt represent the component of velocity in y direction and j cap represents the unit vector along j direction. Y direction, and dx by dt represents the component of velocity in z direction. K cap represent the unit vector along z direction. If we know the expression of velocity, then we can find out acceleration from that data. The rate of change of velocity is known as acceleration. So I have to again differentiate this expression of velocity to get the acceleration. So I got d square x by dt square I cap plus d square y by dt square j cap plus d square z by dt square k cap. Here the component of acceleration in x direction is, yes, it's d square x by dt square. So we know that what is a frame of reference? It is a system of coordinates which is used to specify the motion of an object with respect to another object. So this frame of reference is further divided into two: inertial frame of reference or Galilean frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference is a frame of reference for which Newton's laws hold good. Newton's first law is known as law of inertia. This law was first stated by scientist Galileo Galilei. That is why inertial frame of reference is also known as Galilean frame of reference. The second frame of reference is non-inertial frame of reference. It's also known as accelerated frame of reference. First, we are moving towards the inertial frame of reference. Inertial, that means something which is related to inertia. A frame of reference in which Newton's laws of motion holds good is called inertial frame of reference. So, a frame of reference which obey Newton's laws of motion is known as inertial frame of reference. Second point, an inertial frame of reference is one in which the law of inertia holds true. It is also same as it should obey Newton's laws. It is a non-accelerating frame of reference. Non-accelerating means there is no acceleration. Acceleration A should be equal to 0 for an inertial frame. For an inertial frame, acceleration is 0. Mathematically, an inertial frame can be represented by d square r by dt square is equal to 0. We know that acceleration is 0 for inertial frame. This acceleration can be represented in terms of position vector r, which is d square r by dt square. So which is equal to 0. If acceleration A is equal to 0, then force F is equal to ma is also become 0. And why and how? F is equal to m into A. If A is equal to 0, then F becomes 0. In component form, this d square r by dt square can be represented as d square x by dt square is equal to d square y by dt square is equal to d square z by dt square is equal to 0 for an inertial frame. Should be this an important point that should be remembered. For an inertial frame, acceleration is equal to 0. Examples of inertial frame. A frame of reference with respect to the stars is an inertial frame. We know that stars are on space, they are at large distances, so there is no acceleration in between them. So it can be considered as an inertial frame. So an important point, a frame of reference with respect to the stars is an inertial frame. Second, a rocket drifting in outer space with its engine cutoff provide ideal frame. Here a point should be noted that this rocket should not be spinning. A rocket drifting in outer space without spinning and its engine cutoff provides ideal frame, ideal inertial frame. Okay, these are the two examples of inertial frame. Then I will ask another question. Is the frame of reference on the surface of Earth is inertial or not? Okay, I hope the question is clear to you. Then the answer is the frame of reference on the surface of Earth is not inertial because the Earth is rotating about its axis and revolving around the Sun. So these two motions are occurring at the same time. So it cannot be considered as an inertial frame. Second is a statement you have to prove that all frame of reference which are moving with a constant velocity relative to an inertial frame of reference are also inertial. Okay, here we have to consider two frame of references. The first frame is inertial. That data is provided in that statement. First frame is inertial. For an inertial frame, the acceleration is equal to 0. Here, the second frame is moving with a constant velocity. So here this figure represents a frame S. S frame is represented by coordinates x, y, z and t. And its origin is represented as O. And the second frame is represented by S dash, and its axes are x dash, y dash, and z dash. The origin of S frame is O. The origin of S dash frame is O dash. Okay. We can see that the origin of these two frames are connected using a single line. O dash represents a line connecting S and S dash frame. This O dash can be calculated or represented as O dash is equal to Vt. We know that the equation for finding out the equation to find out the velocity. Velocity v is equal to distance by time. So from that we can find out distance by just multiplying velocity with time. So here O dash is equal to Vt. There is an event occurring at a point. An event at a point P on space. So R dash R represents the position vector to the point P which is drawn from S frame. R represents the position vector drawn to the point P from S frame. So similarly, R dash represents the position vector drawn to the point P from S dash frame. Okay, I hope it's clear. So you should give an introduction, that is consider a frame S which has axes x, y, z. So origin is represented as O. And consider another frame which is moving with constant velocity. It's represented as S dash, which has origin O dash and axes as x dash, y dash and z dash. And consider a point P, and it is represented by the position vector R and R dash in S and S dash frame respectively. It should be an introduction. Then in figure OP, you can see O to P, we are drawn a position vector R. So OP is equal to R. Similarly, O dash P is equal to R dash. From this figure, we know that vector calculus in vector, we know if we know the two vector O dash and O dash P, we can easily find out OP simply by adding O dash plus O dash, sorry, O dash by O dash. O dash plus O dash P. Look at the figure. O dash represents the line joining the two origin of this S and S dash frame. And O dash P represents the position vector drawn to the point P in S dash frame. Okay. Then from this we can easily calculate OP as O dash plus O dash P. We know that OP is equal to R, O dash is equal to VT plus O dash P is equal to R dash. Simply substituting in this equation. And from this we can calculate R dash. For calculating R dash, I am taking this factor VT to the other side. So I got R dash is equal to R minus VT. From this position vector, I have to find out the acceleration. Why I am finding out the acceleration? If the acceleration is equal to 0, then I can prove that this second frame S dash is also inertial. I know that the first frame S frame is inertial. So for S frame, the A is equal to 0. If A dash is equal to 0, then I can prove that this frame is also inertial. So I am differentiating this equation R dash is equal to R minus Vt twice. So d square r dash by dt square is equal to d square r by dt square minus 0. Why I got 0? I am differentiating it with respect to t. So t becomes 1 and v is equal to, v is a constant velocity. So the derivative of a constant is equal to 0. That's why I wrote d square r by dt square minus 0. Since v is a constant, or it is moving with a constant velocity, I can simply write the second term as 0. From this, it is clear that d square r by dt square equal to d square r by d square r by dt square. So I know that d square r by dt square is equal to 0. Then simply a dash is equal to a. Since this a dash is equal to a, I can conclude that the frame S and S dash both are inertial. I think it is clear. In this class, we are simply deal with the topic the frame of reference and also the inertial frame of reference. So I'm just giving a conclusion. Our topic was frame of reference. Frame of reference is any coordinate system with respect to which one can study the motion of another object. Example, Cartesian coordinate system. This frame of reference is also known as space and time. Example, position of aeroplane, which is represented in terms of the coordinate system attached to the earth. Another, the motion of an electron is represented in terms of the coordinate system attached with its nucleus. Then, how to represent the position vector of a particular event occurring in space. Then from that we have calculated the velocity and acceleration. Then we deal with the inertial frame of reference. It's also known as Galilean frame of reference. For inertial frame, acceleration is equal to 0. Examples. Then we have proved that all frame of reference which are moving with a constant velocity which is related to an inertial frame of reference are also inertial. So you should study the statement all frames of reference which are moving with a constant velocity related to an inertial frame of. Here if for example if S frame is not inertial then S dash should not be inertial. Okay, so this is an important point. With the frame is moving with constant velocity related to an inertial frame. That point should be remembered. Okay, this is the class for today. So I hope it's clear to you. Thank you.